Have you ever walked into a room, looked at the floor and thought, whoa, this place is a disaster? Toys everywhere, blankets on the floor, dolls tucked into strange little corners, blocks piled up in what looks like absolute chaos. And your first instinct? Tidied it up. But what if I told you, sometimes when we tidy up, we're actually interrupting something really important? Today, I want to share a tiny idea that completely changed the way I looked at children's play. It's called a work in progress card. And honestly, it might be one of the simplest tools that you can use to protect your child's creativity, their ideas, and even prevent some of those big meltdowns we've seen before. Hello, welcome back to Demystifying Child's Play. I'm Ruth Verco, and if you're new here, this is the podcast where we unpack the science and magic behind children's play so parenting young children can feel less confusing and a lot more joyful. Now, I want to start by painting a picture. Imagine you're about to cook dinner. You've chosen the recipe, you've found all the ingredients, you've chopped all the vegetables, you're nearly ready to start cooking. But before you turn the oven on, you have to quickly run off and do something else. When you come back, everything's gone. The ingredients are back in the fridge, the chopping board is washed, the recipe is put away, and you're standing there thinking, who did this? I was about to continue. That feeling, that frustration, that's exactly what it's like for children when we tidy up in the middle of their play. So I'd like to introduce you to the work in progress card. In its simplest form, it's just a piece of paper that shows my work is not finished yet. It tells everyone else in the house or the room, I'm still playing with this. My idea isn't done yet. And honestly, it can make such a huge difference. So, where did this idea start? For me, it started when I was a classroom teacher. Every child in my class had one work in progress card. Now, imagine a class full of kids. Yes, it could look a bit chaotic at times, but the rule was simple. If a child was building something or playing with something and they hadn't finished yet, they could place their work in progress card on it. And once that card was there, nobody could touch it, not even me. Now, sometimes children weren't playing in the correct place, I say with big inverted commas. They might be building right in the middle of the mat space or spread across the table we're about to do a science experiment. But even then, I wouldn't move it. Instead, I'd go to the child and say, hey, we need that space really soon. Can we move your project somewhere safer so you can keep working on it later? Would you like some help moving it, or would you like to do it on your own? And 9 times out of 10, they'll move it themselves. The important thing was this, their play was respected. And for me, after using the strategy for over 10 years, both with classes and with my own kids, I can say it has stood the test of time and it's a keeper in the toolkit of my strategies. Now, as you may guess, at the beginning, it took a little time for everyone to understand the system. But once they did, something truly beautiful happened. Children started respecting each other's work. You could see the joy and pride they felt in their creations. And even better, you could watch their play build and their ideas evolve over days. These ideas grew, the stories expanded, creations became more complex, all because they had the time and space to keep going. So fast forward to having my own children. I've been parenting for 5 years now, which still seems wild to say. When my eldest was around 2, maybe 2.5, I introduced him to the work in progress cards at home. Now, obviously, a 2-year-old understands it very differently to a 5-year-old, but as he grew, his understanding grew too. Now, as I said, he's just about to turn 5 and he absolutely knows how it works. And my now 2.5-year-old, he understands it as well because he's seen it his whole life. Okay, so how does it look in our house? Let's say the Duplo is out and my son is busy building. Then dinner time comes. Instead of packing it away, he puts his work in progress card on it. That means I'm coming back to this later. After dinner, he goes and keeps playing. Then maybe bath time comes. The card goes back on again and the play continues the next day. I'm guessing if you've got this far and you're listening, you're probably nodding along because you've probably seen the meltdown that happens when something gets tidied that wasn't meant to. I actually saw a video very recently that really annoyed me. A mum walked into her daughter's room and saw what she thought was a huge mess. Dolls everywhere, blankets everywhere, clothes on the floor. But if you looked closely, the child had tucked all the dolls into beds around the room. She was putting them to sleep. The mum even said that this mess was all because of the play, the girl putting the dolls to sleep. And if you know anything about play schemas, this is actually a really common one. It's a crossover between the enclosure and developing schemas. Children naturally repeat these urges while their brains are making important connections. So, the mum knew the girl was putting dolls to bed. She saw this mess. What did she do? She tidied the whole room while her daughter was at preschool. When the little girl came home, the mum proudly said, look, I cleaned your room. And the daughter immediately said, "No, it's all wrong." Within seconds, she put everything back out again. Because she was mid-play. She didn't choose to stop. She had to leave to go to daycare. Just like my cooking example I gave at the start. Moments like that remind me of something really important. Children are real people with real ideas. Sometimes those ideas look messy to us, but to them, they are stories, they are experiments, they're creations. And when we allow play set up to stay for days, or even just for a long few hours rather than carrying it between days, you can see the imagination grow and evolve in incredible ways. Now, if you want to try work in progress cards at home, there are a few things to help them work well. I have 3 rules for the work in progress cards. Rule number 1, each child gets 1 card and only 1 card. Otherwise, your whole house would end up with half-finished projects. And if they want to start something new, they can, but if it's separate from the other play, they need to choose what stays. Rule number 2, they're not indefinite. If something has had the card on all day and no one has played with it, you can ask, "Are you still working on this?" Again, 9 times out of 10, they'll jump straight back into their play. But if not, you can tidy it together. Rule number 3, it's not a way to hoard toys. This is where parenting becomes more of an art than a science. Sometimes children are the leader of play and others can join in. Sometimes you may notice they're just using it to hoard toys so no one else can play with them. You get to decide what's happening and how it works in your home. And then that's it. That's the idea of work in progress cards. On the outside, it looks like a tiny piece of paper that simply says, "My work is not finished." What it really is saying is, my ideas matter, my play matters, my thinking isn't done yet. If you decide to try this at home, I would absolutely love to see it in action. You can tag me using @play_schemas and share how it works for you and your family. And if you'd like a template of the card, let me know. Although honestly, my son usually just grabs a scrap of paper and writes on "not finished." Simple, effective, and works beautifully. Next week, I'm going to be popping here to give you an encouragement, because parenting is a lot, and I know with all the conversations I've been having recently, I know it's something we don't hear enough. So tune in again next week, and maybe even listen on repeat. Okay, I will see you next time, and remember, today is a great day to play.